Welcome to the Said Modern Homes Safety Guide for the new generation JCB 540-180 high-vis telescopic handler. This video is sponsored by Green Power, the UK's go-to plant hire company. The 540-180 already boasts groundbreaking built-in safety and security features. But in order to operate this machine safely and maximise its efficiency, it is essential for all operators to take the necessary steps to stay up to date on its updated functions. To understand how it works, and the steps that must be taken to ensure the safety of you, the operator, the workforce, and the machine. So let's begin by taking a look at the specs. Specs. It reaches a 4,000 kilogram maximum lift capacity, 17.51 metre maximum lift height, 13.34 maximum forward reach, and is powered by a 55 kilowatt engine. Measuring in at 6.23 metres in length and 2.25 metres in width. Before running your daily checks, make sure the boom is fully retracted on 0 degrees, the legs are up, and the machine is switched off. Before operating the telehandler, it is important to inspect the machine before each operation. Starting with ground level daily checks. We must conduct a visual inspection of the machine to ensure it is safe to drive, checking that all pipes are firmly connected and that there is no oil or liquids leaking from under the machine. Check the tyre pressure using the integrated tyre pressure monitoring system. If it is not the right pressure, the machine will be unbalanced and can tilt or fall. So remove the cap, apply the apparatus, and check the measurements on the white part that shoots out when pressure is applied. The ideal tyre pressure is 58 psi or 4 bar. At the beginning and end of each day, inspect the tyre condition for damage such as cracks, splits, cuts and bubbles. Check the tread depth of the tyre to ensure it is safe to drive. Failure to check and identify damaged or worn tyres could be catastrophic, leading to tyre blowouts which can cause machines to topple over or drop their load. If any defects or low tread depth are identified, then this should be reported to Green Power immediately for a tyre inspection to be carried out. It is also important to ensure lights, indicators, beacons and mirrors are working and positioned correctly. Check the washer fluid, which can be located in the toolbox at the front of each cab. Open this toolbox by pulling the lever by the handbrake. Open the washer fluid cap and ensure it is sufficiently filled. Greasing the machine. Inside the same toolbox as the washer fluid, you'll find the greasing gun. There are greasing nipples located around the machine. Please see the hand guide for nipple locations. Once you've located your greasing nipples, attach the hose part of the gun to the greasing nipple. Pump the grease into the nipple until the grease becomes visible from the outside. Failure to do so can result in the hydraulic ram seizing and not operating correctly. You'll be working with one of the world's most efficient plant engines, so let's keep it that way. Checking the engine. Starting with the engine oil, by removing the dipstick and making sure the oil is between the two marks, as seen here. The transmission oil, by removing the dipstick and making sure the oil is between the two marks, as seen here. The water level, which should always be between the minimum and maximum levels as shown. And last but not least, the fuel filter, to ensure there is no water in the diesel. And this is done by checking to see if there are any water droplets in the glass sediment bowl, or a WIF error code on the dash. If this is left unattended, it will result in sluggish performance and likely damage the injectors. While checking levels, at the rear of the vehicle, You will also find an indicator for the hydraulic levels. Unscrew the cap, remove the dipstick, and ensure the oil is between the two marks. Once all of these checks have been completed, make sure that the machine is in a safe place before starting, ensuring that there are no obstacles around or objects propped up against the machine, and that the workforce are at a safe distance. Now you can jump in and conduct your safety checks before driving. Step onto and up into the machine using both steps, and the handrails provided to pull yourself up. Once inside, close the door behind you. These same 3 points of contact should be used when entering and leaving the cab. Your suspension is built into the seat, which when adjusted correctly will allow a comfortable and safe drive. Sit on the seat and turn the handle to either increase or decrease the tension in the seat until the indicator turns green with a black line running through it. This indicates that you are at the perfect adjusted suspension for your weight. If this seat is not adjusted, you risk hitting your head on the roof cage or realising harsh impacts on the floor, which over time can affect the spine and result in head injuries. Low boom pivot point. Ensure the boom is at its lowest point on 0 degrees or less, so that there is a clear view through the side window. Otherwise, the mirror and view will be obstructed. Once again, check your environment using the rear camera and mirrors provided. Built-in safety. JCB have ensured that the seatbelt must be fastened, the handbrake must be up, and the machine cannot be in gear before the machine can be started. Apply your foot on the brake, so when the handbrake is released, you're in control of the forward movement of the machine. Once all of these measures have been taken, turn the key once and wait for the sound to end before starting. This gives the machine time to calibrate. And now, you are ready to drive and start operating the machine. Aircon. Aircon is provided to help regulate and maintain a comfortable temperature in the cabin. On the right hand side of the steering wheel, turn the aircon on and either increase the fan speed using the upwards arrow or decrease the fan speed using the downward arrow. Lights. On the left hand side of the steering wheel, you will see switches for the lights. The left switch controls the fog light, and if pressed twice activates the main light. The middle switch is the beacon light, which must be on at all times. The right switch is the roof light. On the bottom row to the left, you'll see the boom light switch, and to the right of this, you'll find the hazard light. Wipers. The stick to the right of the steering wheel controls the wiper. Rotate it once to start the main wiper. The two buttons below the screen are also wiper controls. The left switch controls the roof wiper, and the right switch controls the back wiper. Steering. To the right of your seat, you'll find a single black rubber gear, which allows you to select the best steering function for optimum control, dependent on the terrain or angle you are trying to maneuver. Starting at the bottom function, we have 4-wheel drive. The middle function is 2-wheel drive, and at the top, crab steer. Auxiliary. The middle gear stick is the auxiliary, which controls the forks. Pushing this gear stick left will close the forks, and pushing this gear stick to the right will open the forks. The front gear stick controls the angle of the forks, so pulling this gear stick backwards tilts the forks up, and pushing it forwards tilts the forks down. Levels. Before operating the boom, it is important to ensure the spirit levels inside the vehicle are balanced. Both front and side spirit levels must be at 0 degrees before operating the machine. The front level is to manage the balance left to right, and the level on the right hand side manages the balance from front to back. If they are not centralised due to being on uneven ground, this can be adjusted using the tilt functions found on the dash. Pushing this button left will tilt the machine left, and pushing this button right will tilt the machine right. If these levels are not balanced before operating the boom, it puts the entire machine at risk of toppling over. The alternative method to levelling the machine is by adjusting the legs. Boom and legs. Now onto the front left gear stick, which gives you full control over the boom. Pulling the gear stick back raises the boom. Pushing the gear stick forward lowers the boom. Pushing the gear stick right extends the boom out. And pushing the gear stick left brings the boom in. Built-in safety feature. The boom will only go to 45 degrees and then notify you that the legs must be down if you wish to elevate it further. Once the legs are down, they will not go back up until the boom is at 10 degrees or lower. It is important to know that even if the legs are down, the 4,000 kg maximum lift capacity is only possible when the boom is fully retracted. The further out and higher the boom, the less load capacity can be lifted. Please see the load chart situated inside the cab of the machine to safely work out load weight and reach. On your right hand side, next to the seat towards the back, you'll find two rubber gears which control the legs. Pushing the left control forward brings the left leg down. Pushing the right control forward brings the right leg down. Pulling the left control back brings the left leg up. Pulling the right control back brings the right leg up. These controls can also be used to balance out the machine and bring the spirit levels to neutral at 0 degrees. The button on the far right of the steering wheel locks the legs to avoid accidental movement. Adaptive load control system smoothly and progressively controls the boom speed, avoiding abrupt stops and reduces risk of forward overturn. Indicators show on the control system when the weight and boom level are becoming unstable, stopping extended lift or extension until the boom is operating within safe parameters. Every 10 hours you must pull the boom in and out to stretch the hoses, allowing pressure to flow through the system. This will also synchronise the boom sections. Failure to do so will result in boom hoses popping and leaking hydraulic oil. Beacons. The yellow light shows that the machine is stationary and the machine is off, but still in use and operators are working nearby. The green light indicates that the operator is wearing a seatbelt and currently operating the machine. Built-in safety feature. There are two warning triangles that will light up on the dash when you need to stop the machine. The amber warning triangle on the dash indicates that the machine needs a service, so check the machine and report to Green Power immediately. The red warning triangle on the dash indicates that the machine must be driven to a safe place, switched off, and Green Power must be called immediately to assist in fixing the problem. Shutting down the machine. When stationary, if the forks are raised, it puts the entire workforce at risk of injury when passing by, so the forks must always be on the ground. Before transporting the machine, the forks must be lifted and fastened. Locks must be secured on both sides of the grip, and the key must be tightened to lock in the fork. Taking the key out of the ignition doesn't shut down the machine, there is still power. So, wait 90 seconds after turning off the machine before removing the isolator key. The isolator key is found just above the second step, under the frame of the machine. Turn the isolator key to the left and remove it. This will completely shut down the machine. Without this key, the machine cannot be started or moved. It is important to wipe down the machine after each day's use. cleansing and preparing the machine for either yourself or another operator the following day. Although each machine comes with a tracker, real-time usage stats, and on-call support from GreenPower, it is the responsibility of the operators to maintain, run checks on, take care of, and completely shut down the machine each day. This video has been produced as a guide only, and is in no way a replacement for certified training. It is important that any person who chooses or is instructed to drive this machine are fully qualified and hold a recognised and valid licence such as a CPCS or NPORS. If you have any further questions regarding the machine's functionalities, please refer to the manual, JCB's website, or speak to your site manager. This is a brief safety guide for the new generation JCB 540-180 high-vis telescopic handler for St Modwin Homes, sponsored by GreenPower, the go-to plant hire company, and produced by Q-Card Productions.